Welcome back. Our next segment is a very fitting one for a Fashion Friday. At a time when the fashion industry is in flux with changing consumer habits, social media disruption, and demands for more representation and inclusivity, we're posing the question, what is the future of fashion? So we've put together an expert panel to explore the answer to that question. I see you guys like, yes, we're the experts. We have recent fashion magazine cover star Vivek Shraya and our beauty expert, of course, Tracy Peart. I'm so happy to have you both with us today. Look at the cover girl right there, working it. It's an interesting idea what's happening with fashion. I feel like we've seen bubbles of it coming up again and again, and now there really is sort of a movement to embrace inclusivity. For you, Vivek, I mean, what has it meant to you in your journey to be part of this message and to celebrate fashion beyond the gender binary?
I mean, first of all, it's such an incredible honor to be on the fashion magazine cover, especially for their rebrand.
Yeah.
But second, I mean, one of the things I love about the cover, if I can be honest, is I love that,
Yeah,
I love that they've put me in the center. And not because I love being the center of attention, but because so often when trans people or even marginalized people are included, not just in media, but also in events, we're sort of tucked away in the corner somewhere.
Afterthought.
And yeah, afterthought, so that people feel good about checking off their diversity checkbox, but without acknowledging that we're vital contributions or contributors. And I love that that's not what's happening here.
You didn't feel like a check mark in this moment.
I did not feel like a check mark. I mean, look at me right there.
What? Absolutely. Tracy, I'm going to go to you now. Now versus 10 years ago, how much more do you see yourself reflected in the media?
I see myself a lot more. I mean, it still could be a lot better, but to be honest, I think social media and Instagram, things like that have really impacted the fashion industry and media in general.
Yeah.
I think in the past, people had to get permission from people who don't look like them to be sanctioned to be put on magazine covers. And now people are just posting themselves, and they're garnering these audiences, and people are like, that person looks like me, they look like me, and they garner these audience, and they're forcing people to change the landscape of beauty.
Yeah.
Because every single time I would see beauty, especially as a teen in my 20s, someone who looked like me was omitted. Someone who looked like me, someone who looked like her was omitted. We were not a part of what was considered beautiful.
Right.
And people are now putting their own images out there, and the fashion industry has no choice but to follow.
It's pretty amazing because we go back and forth on how we feel about social media.
Yeah.
Some days we want to kill it.
Yeah.
And other days
Right
it's
now.
like, oh my gosh, it's amazing the representation you get to see. I can go down the rabbit hole and find whatever I want.
Exactly.
And see natural hair and see bigger bodies and see whatever I sort of want to see represented. So this is kind of a good side of the story. Now you style segments, plus size segments, T, for the show. And I see the work you go through to put everything together.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Talk to me about some of the challenges and some of the ways that things could be better in the industry to help.
There's just not enough options of stores.
Yeah.
So when I'm trying to put together a segment, I only have a handful of stores I can work with. And if I'm working with online stores, I gotta wait a long time for shipment to come. It's timing everything. Whereas another stylist has they have the mall. They have the entire mall to go in and explore. I don't have that. I literally have a tenth of what everybody else has.
Yes.
So it's very difficult. I always laugh when I go out, I say to people, if I'm looking good and you see me out there taking pictures, because it took a lot of work for me to look like this from head to toe, because from head to toe, I am not the norm. Even my feet are too big. Like everything on me is not what is like in the mall, right? So I have to go to specialty places. So it's very difficult, but it's getting better.
Okay, well that's good. That's a good point. Vivek, how about you in terms of putting together your look? Challenges?
Yeah, I mean, someone like me going into a store who looks like a man, you can only imagine when I'm in the women's section, I get read as a pervert or a freak. And so, you know, what I often look at online shopping, but with online shopping, there's all kinds of other repercussions like around climate change and overpackaging. So, I mean, what I would love to see in stores is like getting rid of the men's section, getting rid of the women's section, where people can just go in and try on clothing and buy clothing that appeals to them without shame or judgment.
Or the plus size section.
Or the plus size section,
you know, it's the same thing. I love stores that just have it across the board, like all inclusive.
Yes.
that to me makes me the most happiest. They usually, well, a lot of stores now, they're starting their own plus size section, and even then, a lot of the clothes don't cross over.
Right.
So it's getting better, like I said, but they cherry pick certain clothing, and that's a part of the plus size section. But I'm like, I wish I had access to all of the clothing in here.
Exactly.
Vivek, do you notice a lot of people looking at you when you go shopping?
Absolutely.
So
yeah,
that's still
absolutely.
happening. Has that gotten any better?
No, I mean,
Not at
what's
all.
interesting too about like the gender neutral like fad, or like these stores that sell like those androgynous. Overpriced garbage bags, as I call them. They still will walk in and they'll be like, oh, the men's section's over there.
They still do.
Yeah, and I'm just like, is that necessary, right? So I think so much of our culture is conditioned to think about gender in those kinds of ways, or thinking about bodies in those kinds of ways. And it's like, let's just let people go into the store and do their thing.
Yes.
You know?
Our show here at Cityline, we've been, creeping into this space, and are really proud of the fact that we are making every effort to show all the different colors. We're going past the gender binary. We are showing plus size models. What we find is that the viewers sometimes have a problem. So we're putting this out there, and we're saying we would like to be part of the change. We want to be part of the solution rather than part of the problem. And the viewers are saying, whoa.
Scary.
What are you doing?
Scary.
So what do you think's going on? What do you think needs to happen to get people at a better comfort level?
I think we just need to keep doing it. And that's the whole reason why I do these segments. I know people are going to be uncomfortable seeing women a certain size. When I do my segments, I try to pick tall women, shorter women, women who are top heavy, bottom heavy. There's not just one type of look for plus size.
Yeah.
We are a wide range of looks. And so I want to show different colors, different races. It's so important for representation, to see yourself reflected. So as many people who don't like it, there's just as many people who are like, finally, I see myself.
Exactly.
She looks like me.
Yes.
Finally, on TV, I'm seeing someone who's as tall as me, someone who's as short as me, someone who has my body type, someone who's my skin color. All of those things. So I get just as much praise and positive as you will get the people who are very uncomfortable with it because they're conditioned, like you said, to see a certain body type. So I want to start normalizing it. The more they see it, the more they're going to get comfortable with it.
Yes.
And also, discomfort isn't a bad thing.
No.
Like, people grow from discomfort. So I think sometimes in our culture, we're like, oh, people are uncomfortable, we should retract. And I agree with you. It's like, actually, people being uncomfortable means that we're doing our job.
I agree.
So I think, like, sometimes it's about leaning into discomfort.
Yes, I think more people actually need to lean into discomfort. A lot of us have been uncomfortable for a really long time.
Exactly. Or some of us have been way too comfortable.
So spread it around a little bit, and then everyone can feel a little uncomfortable, and it means we can change and evolve and move forward.
Right.
Thanks to both of you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Let's go to break.
Thanks.